All right, we're gonna try it again. I apologize, y'all. I got phone calls and text messages that said y'all could hear me. I'm so sorry about that. Because one thing I don't like to do is waste people's time or my own. So we back. And I guess this time I will wait for a few minutes for y'all to get in. Um, but I really apologize. I was inspired to do this and inspired to say what I gotta say. And I'm learning to I guess people kind of value a little bit what I have to say sometime. And so um I'm starting to put a little more value on it too. So as soon as I get a one in here, if I can get a one, just from one person to join this thing, there you go. There's the one person that I was looking for. So thank you. Thank you. And I apologize for the earlier broadcast. I was on for like 7 minutes talking, and I didn't think that y'all can hear me, but apparently y'all could. And so I apologize for that. And I'm gonna just try and get on with it, right? And kind of pick this up and let you get on with your day. So here's the deal. I was having a conversation with somebody who was actually in a meeting, and in the course of that meeting, dang, she's going fast on that bike. So in this meeting, this one of the participants of the meeting was, we was debriefing, right? After we had a community meeting last night, and then we was debriefing pluses and deltas and just talking about interactions and and the experience that we had. And one of the things that came up during the course of the meeting was there was a um, one of the participants was sharing an experience that she had with somebody, and it immediately became clear to me that that person who she was engaging with had been poisoned. And so that's why I asked, have you been poisoned? Right? Because sometimes you can be poisoned and not even know that you've been poisoned. And it was clear to me. Thank you, Sister Maria. She's sending me a text. I appreciate that. Shout out to Maria Scruggs. Thank you for that, and thank you, Kiana, for calling me, and those who have my personal number, for tapping in and joining the broadcast. I'm back now. This is part two because again, I'm doing something I don't usually do. Right, I'm trying to do something a little different. Um, but I have a lot of stuff that be on my mind and a lot of lived experience. And as I approach my 50th birthday, and I hope y'all will come. Like we having a 50th birthday party. We're gonna celebrate my 50th birthday on March 21st at Urban Drinkery, and all are welcome. Everybody's invited. Friends, family, and community, because that's really my circle. And so I'm excited about it. A little nervous, honestly, because I don't know if y'all gonna really come. And we trying to order food, and you know what I'm saying. And it's like I don't even know if y'all gonna even show up for real, because a lot of times, birthday parties, and I'm having a birth like, and like I like to have fun for real, and I like to celebrate. Y'all know me, like those who do know me, I can get down with the best of them. And that's what we intend to do. Like we're gonna turn up, we're gonna have a real good time because your little brother's turning 50. But I digress. The point that I wanted to make, the conversation that I wanted to have in the time that we have today is have you been poisoned? Because when she was telling me about this interaction and how this person disrespected her, she was kind of glossing over the disrespect, right? Because she was like, well, do. And I'm like, no, that's disrespectful. She shouldn't have, like that's, that's kind of out of order. And when she thought about it, she was like, I did feel some kind of way, but I wasn't trying to take it there, right? And so I was like, no, I just got to name it. And when I realized that what she had experienced was the effects of somebody being poisoned. And the way that I was able to spot it and able to name it is because it happened to me. I remember the first time that I was consciously aware of the fact that I had been poisoned against somebody. And I was saying this in the other video, but I'm just recap it real quick because I'm trying to just not hold you. So I'm gonna talk a little faster than I usually would. My cadence is gonna be a little faster. But what was happening was I had just joined the study group here when we were building the mosque, and I'm what you would call a new recruit, right? Fresh fish. I don't really know none of these people for real like that, right? Because it's a whole new circle. And so what ended up happening was I met a brother by the name of Minister James. And when I talked to Minister James on the phone, shout out to James Muhammad. If y'all know Brother Minister James, y'all know how I feel about Minister James. Y'all know I love him dearly, right? Tag him if you able to so that he can hear this too. And he probably would be able to bear witness. But my first phone call that I had with Minister James, I was talking real rough to Minister James, like real greasy, like real just like crazy. And I had never met Minister James. And I was like hostile. I was like, just on one, like real deal on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like talking real crazy to this man who I had never really met. Maybe once. I think I might have met him once. And then he was calling to introduce himself, to welcome me to the fold and, just kind of touching bases. You know what I mean? Like really reaching out as a brother saying, hey, man, so I had met him at his house. That's a matter of fact, I did meet him, but I didn't meet him. You know what I mean? So I had seen who he was, but I saw him from afar. And so my only experience with Minister James was from the experiences of those who were who had experience. And everything that they were saying about this man was bad. It was negative. It was about what he wasn't doing, how he was supposed to be doing stuff that he wasn't doing. And they had just gave me the rundown on God doggone Minister James. And me being a real one, I'm with y'all. And Minister James is the ops. So he my enemy too. Even though I ain't really got no problem with Minister James. But now because I'm listening to them and their problem, I've taken on their problem that they had with Minister James. And so when I finally get an opportunity to talk to Minister James, I'm talking to him in the way that they want to, but they really don't. But because I don't do that. Like if I got a problem with you, I'm going to just name it. We're going to have it out. We're going to try and work through it if it can be worked through. But in that conversation, Minister James, he stopped and he was like, brother, it sounds to me, y'all know Minister James, those who know him, he said, brother, it sounds to me like you've been bitten. And I was like, nigga, what you talking about? I'm probably 2 months into the mosque at this point, in the study group at this point. And he was like, it sounds like you've been bitten and you've been poisoned. And I said, what you talking about? He said, brother, you don't know me well enough to be saying the things that you're saying about me. You haven't been here long enough for you to even have any experience that, because the things that you're talking about, like you wasn't here for that. And so he was able to just call me out on my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He was like, bro, you don't even know me for real like that. So how can you say all of this stuff about me? And how can you have this posture towards me when you don't even know me? Like, why you mad at me and you don't even know me for real? And he named the fact that I had been poisoned. And that's when I became aware of that and conscious and mindful of how that can impact the person. And so that's why I'm asking you, have you ever been poisoned? Because that interaction that she shared reminded me of that. And I want us to be mindful of that as a community and as we move forward as a people, that sometimes you have problems with people that's not really your problem. It's the people in your circle that you're talking to, and they have a problem with that person. And you've taken on their characteristics, but you never really addressed that, like with that person. You never had that experience. They telling you how bad that person is, but you can't vouch for that. You just taking them at their word. And what I found that Minister James was not anything. I mean, kind of a little bit of it, but most of the things that they were saying were not true about him. But I had allowed my interactions with them to color my view of him. And it denied me of an opportunity it could have if I wasn't who I was, and then being able to just be straight up and talk about what I talk about, and not because I don't care. Like if I say it to you, I can say it to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'll let them like I'm just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like to do certain stuff, and certain stuff I won't do. And so by me being that way, it allowed me and him to be able to clear that out and handle that. And then we developed a great relationship, and I love that man to this day. But if I would have held on to just having their view and then not having the conversation with him, then I would have denied myself of an amazing relationship with a beautiful brother. And so I'm asking you all, have you ever been poisoned? There's more that I can say on this, but this phone about to die. But I'll come back and I'll do like a part 3, I guess, because I really want to talk about this, because this is so important. And as we move forward and times get tougher, it causes more tension, and it causes more stress. And then our personal interactions are going to be very important, and how we address them and resolve conflicts are important. So just ask yourself, have you ever been poisoned? That's the first part of it. The next part of this conversation that we're going to have is, has somebody, have you poisoned anybody? And then have you been the victim of somebody else's poison? Like you wondering why they talking to you crazy and they really don't know you. If that's the case, it's usually because they talking to somebody else who has a problem with you, and they've taken on their view, and now they're showing up as that. And so don't take that shit personally is basically what I'm saying. And I'm rushing because this battery about to die. But again, I just wanted to come on and say that. Let's start there, and then we'll keep going as a part of this series. I'm going to start doing this a little bit more to try and help us navigate some of the stuff that we navigate in the community based upon some of my lived experiences. So I thank y'all for tapping in. Thank y'all for spending 11 minutes and 47 seconds with your little brother today. And we'll stop there. Y'all ponder on that, meditate on the question. I'll let my phone charge up, and if I get some time, I'll come back and we can finish this conversation. But thank y'all for tapping in. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. See y'all at work. Believe and do good.